The amount of people that ask me on a daily basis, Jake, what camera should I buy? You would not believe it. So in this video, I'm going to be running through all the different cameras that I've bought throughout my entire career, giving you my recommendations, what lenses to buy, what budget to allocate for your first camera, whatever it is. Hopefully all these questions should be answered in this video. So, roll the intro. So the first camera I'm going to run through is the Nikon D5300. This is the first camera that I ever bought. No, actually no. My mum bought me this for Christmas, so big up, big Julie Rainford. This is an absolute beast of a camera. I mean, for the price that I paid for it and the amount of money that I got in return was frightening. I mean, I did so many corporate shoots, photo shoots, video shoots, and it's still, to this day, is a really good camera. You do feel a bit spoilt though when you start using these more modern cameras and you realise like how good they actually are and how much you can push the limits. So it was good learning on this camera because it made me use the camera like in manual to really dial the settings in to get the best out of the camera, and help with like all the lighting. If you start off with one of these more expensive cameras, you can kind of just put it on auto and just let it do its thing. Where with this, you really have to like focus to get the get the lighting bob on before you can start filming. But my main point with this is it doesn't really matter how much you spend on a camera, it's more about how you actually use it. So the way I always explain it to someone is, if you've got a really good artist and a really shit artist, but you give the really bad artist a really expensive paintbrush, and the really good artist a shit paintbrush, you're gonna get, who's gonna paint the better picture? It's gonna be the decent guy with the brush, with a shit brush. So yeah, that's the way I always explain it. I didn't explain it very well then, but the point I'm trying to make is just learn the craft, just use whatever you've got, whether it's using your phone or a shitty camera. Just stop making excuses and start making videos. Up next, we've got the Sony A6500. This is an absolute beast of a lens camera. Yeah, I mean, this has been on most of my photo shoots, corporate shoots when I was living in Malta. I actually made a video that was played in the cinemas as well, and from a camera body so small, the image that this punches out is ridiculous. They've just bought out a new one, which is the A6600, which has got a complete tilted screen so you can like vlog, see what you do when you're filming, rather than doing it blind. The bad thing about this, again, with all the Sonys, is the battery life. Fucking shit. But yeah, it's not bad. I get it. It costs about 1,600, so that's with a lens. So it is quite pricey, but I'd recommend just paying the money because something like this is going to really last you a long time, where if you just buy something like this, you'll get annoyed at certain things and you'll just end up buying this in the long run. So my recommendation, just go for something middle ground. Again, later on in this video, I'll give you my recommendations on cameras that are currently out now, but I'm just running through the cameras that helped me throughout my career. And this one is, honestly, without this little guy, I'll get nowhere. The amount of times that I've nearly dropped this in the sea as well, like filming jet skis on a speedboat and you go over a big fucking wave and it nearly falls out your hand, and water splashing on the lens, and it's still working. It's an absolute beast, absolute beast. So next up, the next one that I bought was the Sony A7S Mark II. This thing in low light is an absolute nutter. The amount of times I've been filming in nightclubs, you just crank the ISO up and it just, I don't know, I mean, it just doesn't lose any grain. The image quality is really fucking insane at low light, and that's where it gets its really good name from. There is rumours that they're bringing out the A7S Mark III. God knows when that comes out, but when it does, that'll make a massive dent in the market. They're calling it like the camera killer. But again, if you're just buying a camera, I probably wouldn't go for something like this just because of the price of it. You might be asking what this little grip is on the bottom, and this, basically, that's just to put more batteries in. Like the the A6500, the battery sucks. So having this big battery grip really helps. I also prefer it because I've got big chimp hands as well. When you're filming, it's good, just gives you a solid grip. And when you're like doing manual focus, I don't know, I just feel like you can film handheld really solidly with it. absolute beast of a camera. Highly recommend it, but again, it's quite pricey. You're talking like £2,500 with that and a lens, which for some people is quite a lot of money. It's a lot of money to bloody anybody, to be honest. Get a lot of cups of tea with that. Next up is the A7 III camera. Let me just film it on this little bad boy, just so you can see it. So, there we go. So basically, yeah, this is the camera that I use all the time. Unbelievable camera. If I had to choose between the A7S and the A7 III, I'd go for that. I mean, it's cheaper for one, which is weirder because it's a newer camera, but it competes with this in low light. The image quality on that for photos is incredible. It's currently got the Tamron 28-70mm 2.8 lens on there. I could be wrong, but again, I'll put all the specs and everything over on this right hand side. Just give me myself more work doing animations. But yeah, I'll be concluding like what camera I should, what you should be buying at 3 different price points, and this is definitely included in it because it's an absolute beast of a lens. Once you buy that, it's going to last you for a good couple of years before you need to upgrade. So just to conclude on these different cameras, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter what camera you have. The hardest thing is just pressing record and just creating a really good story around things. I've made so many excuses over the past of not making videos because I've said, oh, I've not got the right camera, the right lens. It doesn't really matter. I know it's easier said than done because I've got all these cameras in front of me, but just press record and just film things, because at the end of the day, filming and capturing that moment in the future, you'll regret not capturing it. You'll come to making a video and you think, oh, I wish I'd have filmed that on my phone at the time. There's been many a times where I've just not filmed something because it's not been on the high quality cameras. It's a lot of bullshit. But yeah, if I just to conclude to kind of say what camera I would buy at three price points. So let's say price point number 1, I've got £500. Jake, what camera should I buy? I would stick to Sony. I'd go for the Sony A500 or the A5500. You can only buy that in Currys and this sort of thing, and it normally comes with a kit lens. At that price point, I'd probably just stick with your phone, to be honest. The power, the quality that these things can produce these days is ridiculous. I'm going to be creating a video later on in the month or in the next couple of weeks on how to create professional videos using your mobile phone. So again, if you've only got £500 budgets, I'd just save the money and get something more middle end. Middle end cameras, I'd probably stick to something like the A6500 or the newer model, which is the A6600. Again, really good quality cameras. I don't know, for me, just spend a little bit more money, because you'll end up buying the cheaper shitty camera, and then you'll get pissed off of it. In the next couple of weeks time, you think, oh, I wish I'd upgrade, I need to upgrade. You'll buy more lenses for it. Just splash out at the start and just buy something quality, because with photography and videography, which you've probably already realised, it costs a fucking fortune. So spend a bit more money, get something that's going to last you a couple of months or years, sorry, and then you're laughing then. So up next, we've got the higher end cameras, and you're looking more like the A7 III. That's what I would go for at that price point. Around £2,000, you can get a really solid camera and a really solid lens. I mean, this is what I use for all my photography shoots and video shoots. It's more for like a professional who's like doing it as a job. But if you just want to take some decent photographs of like your food or when you go out traveling, get something like this. I mean, this is my recommendation of anything. But again, it just depends how much money you're willing to spend, because at the end of the day, if you've only got £500 and there's a valid reason of spending £500 for a shittier camera, then go for it. But just use your phone. Your phone's more powerful than you think. Stop making bloody excuses and just press that record button and make something. But yeah, I hope I've answered all your guys' questions. Please like, share it with your mum and dad, your friends, your auntie, your uncle, your grandma, because it really does mean the world, like when you like and share these videos. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. You'll be seeing my ugly mug a bit more, my northern accent, my sexy northern accent. So yeah, that's pretty much it. 6 o'clock, I'm thirsty, and I need food. See you on the next one.